That is a beautiful picture.
That's,
How many do you need for? Okay.
3. One's not voting.
Yeah.
Heather is there. Okay, so thank you for coming today. We have a lot of heavy topics to talk about, but also some fun ones. The first really fun one is our CCMP. And so in the page 3, hopefully you guys had a chance to look at the link of the CCMP. But then we're also going to go into our logo and website. So one thing that was sort of added to the folks that are doing the CCMP was a logo and website. So we actually have some draft logos. It's very exciting. Then we'll talk about X-ray program future finances. This has been kind of an ongoing conversation. I finally got some concrete things to present on and need to get some feedback. And then kind of next steps. Then I put together a work plan summary of just every staff person and project that we have going on so that you can understand kind of how much we have working on and how many things are going on. Then talking about policy board leadership transition, we've got Phil for today and April's meeting, and then that's it.
When is the April's meeting?
24th.
How will we go?
No. I'll move it up. When are you on 16th?
So you're in the final stretch.
Yeah.
I'm turned out. The
Oh, wow.
election is
April 20,
Ready.
April,
15th, I believe it is.
something like that, yeah.
Okay, we might have to move that up. Move us up a week.
You coming now, Phil?
Coming out.
Mm-hmm.
What are you moving it up to?
April 16th.
Is the election? Share my entire crazy calendar. Apologize for those of you online.
Our last meeting at the council will be the 11th, so.
I'll say the 10th.
It's in there, aren't we?
Yeah.
I don't count, I won't be here, I have a TPO meeting, but I don't really
Okay.
count anyway, so, on this one.
Okay.
March 10th?
No, April 10th.
April 10th.
April 10th.
I'll have to send that all out, make sure everyone can make it. Otherwise, we may have to vote online, or we can't vote via email. It's not in our charter or bylaws, so we'll have to do it.
Time, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
1 o'clock.
1 to 3. Yeah, 1. For some reason, I thought the meeting today was at 3, so I was just working away in the office until 12:45 when I got my reminder to
They
go
didn't
show
stop by.
up.
But I didn't think, we came in together.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, matter of fact, I was like, wow, there was no one in here.
Uh-huh.
I went to the second floor, so, you know, it's one of those days where my mind is everywhere at one
I know
time.
those days well.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, we'll talk more about the transition, and then if you have any updates for us and for others about, you know, new projects that are coming online, I've got some time on the agenda for that as well.
So does Phil name his replacement, or?
Nope, we'll talk about it
Yeah.
last.
Yeah.
You stick around.
Yeah, gotta make him do it.
All right, CCMP, hopefully y'all were able to look at the link.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It
It's like
is.
71 pages?
I'm
Don't
so
look at all of it?
impressed,
No.
like, so
No, yeah, so you don't need to read it, you've already read it, nothing's changed as far as words, it's just layout, pretty pictures, the maps, I mean, the number
Well,
of
you tell us that
times-
now.
I mean, you could have read it. But yeah, this is where we're at with the CCMP. We just have a few more things to clean up. very small things. There's a few holes for some pictures that we need to do that we're working on, a few switches of where pictures are, that we need to get to the Kerrigan folks. But the biggest thing that, the management council didn't see this whole link, but the biggest thing that we talked about at the management council was this layout. So we talked eons ago about the action plans, and that's really the meat of this whole thing. And so we were told by you guys as well as the, management council to keep it short and sweet, and so that is what the designers were able to do. So the goal is laid out here. You've got these different, actions, and then it goes into, each action is a single page. I don't know how they fit everything, but they did it, and, it looks really sharp. Some of these will have pictures, and there will be just some white space that we were fine with. We didn't wanna try to fill it or change anything around. So my request today is to basically have you guys approve this to go forward and let us finalize it, print it, release it, everything. So this is sort of last looks. So we don't have quorum for an official vote, but, that will be the request.
How are we gonna do it since we can't do it online?
I'm not sure.
We have to call a special meeting.
I'm gonna have to call a special meeting and get everyone on the
Can we
phone.
do telephone conference?
Like a 30-second telephone conference. Where we'll vote on all of this stuff that if we can't get quorum today to vote, yeah. Yeah, we need,
Y'all have to make a motion.
Is there anybody else you can bug? I always start calling them.
I sent a reminder email and I
Okay.
started texting and haven't
Okay.
heard anything,
You want me to
so-
reach out to like Pat?
I did.
You did?
Usually Bill tells me if he's not gonna be here, and he didn't, so he might just be on his way.
On his
Bill's-
way,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Bill's
Yeah.
always late, so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when we have problems with forms that are technical sometimes, and I just start texting,
Yeah,
getting on the
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
I mean, that's, yeah.
I don't have Doug's cell phone number, but I did shoot out like a, hey, log in now
I saw
reminder.
that. I saw that.
Huh.
Doug Moore?
Yeah.
We have problems getting in our technical meetings, quorum sometimes.
Yeah, they're busy.
Yeah, oh yeah, very busy.
I think it's great the way it is, and I think we should move forward,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
for what that's worth,
Yeah,
so.
I appreciate that.
It is, I'm super impressed. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've seen a policy book like that, you know, just, I don't know who did the graphics and all, but
Kerrigan.
they're very good.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
it's
they are.
easy to read.
Yes.
You ready?
You what?
850
They what?
I said, yes, they are. I mean,
Mhm.
Dana,
19
Jack. they're-
7599.
I'm gonna have to write down their information.
Yeah, they're out of, Mexico Beach.
Yeah, they're
Really?
a local group.
Yeah,
They
so
do a
they're
lot of the
local.
Toyota stuff, Gulf Counties, TDC does a lot with them.
Oh, I have to get their information then,
Yeah,
because we're always
they're
looking for.
fantastic. Everyone left. I don't know.
We can move on.
Yeah.
They'll be back.
Okay, so,
I think they're trying to get you a quorum.
yeah, I know they are. All right, next thing is something. I think it's 6, so it's 12 members, and we had majority plus 1, and we took that away, yeah,
He's not answering.
okay. Thank you for trying. Okay, so, let me go back to my PowerPoint here. We'll just hold a special meeting to try to get that taken care of. And then,
Pat's gonna call in.
thanks. All right, so then we have a new logo design, so, we have been told, like, the first meeting the TAC ever had was, you need a new logo. So we didn't have the funds for it. We had some additional funds in one of our grants as we've moved along for the past few years, and so we asked Kerrigan if they would be able to take on a logo design, and I gave them 1 week to do it.
Wow.
1 week. They of course will refine and everything, but we gave them some information, and Elisa put together a great kind of document to all of the conversations we've had. They have kind of put together, we had some conversations, but our biggest things were that you guys answered questions of, you know, what do you think about with the bays? We took that information from you, the management council, our advisory committees, the public, and we boiled it down into 3 things, which was seagrass, redfish, and a scallop. And then we also had to talk about kind of the use of it, so we wanted it to be standalone emblem, as well as able to have the words, but we wanted the emblem to be able to stay on its own if necessary. And then, it would be embroidered, put on our print thing, so instead of having, you know, this long name, this would be what the logo would be, so it needs to be able to be monochromatic as well. And so they provided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versions? 9 versions. They gave me 6 yesterday, and I did a few editing or suggestions, and then she made some more because she's amazing. So what I have for you are these dots that I'm gonna ask you, you get 3 votes. So I'm gonna ask you to actually walk up to those, put your top 3, and...
Why don't you walk up here first and do it yourself?
I already did it.
No, we want to do it.
No. It's not my decision, it's not Justice Graham's, that's your program. But just keep in mind that these are all drafts, and elements can be adjusted. So if you like one scallop better, but the font, or you like one aspect of one, but another aspect of another, that can all be worked out. So just put a dot on each of those if you like elements from the both of them. These are the 9 that she put together, and they're up there, and I'm gonna hand you your dots. You only get 3, no cheating, because I don't have scissors.
Pat allocated his 3 to mine.
Yeah.
On the line, go ahead and vote, by putting your top 3 with the numbers. So 1A, 1B, 2, 3, 4A, 4B, 5A, 5B, or 6 in the cap, and then we'll synthesize.
Is Pat enough, or you need somebody else?
I'll need someone else.
Oh, yeah, we need 2 more.
You do?
Besides him?
Mm-hmm. So, do these mean any, red, green,
No, you
yellow?
can use whatever color
Okay.
you like.
Okay.
Go for it.
Who needs dots? Does everyone have
Everyone
dots?
has them. No.
Nope.
So what we'll do with the top 3 is, refine those, so we'll talk about each one that's kind of the top 3 of like what you like, what you don't like, and then get that feedback to the Kerrigan folks, and then they'll refine from there. You guys should get 3? Yeah, 3.
Like already off, or?
Months ago. John, you're allowed to vote. Put it in.
Like simplicity.
Which one did you pick?
Red.
The red ones?
Yeah, I like simple.
Well, I have red too, so.
I'm kinda finding, sorry for these guys that don't have any votes, you don't want them.
Yeah, me and you both. Let me just put one here.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
completely different than I expected.
Oh, no. Daryl just holding his? Or
Yeah, he is.
I have one get 4 already.
Don't look at me.
peer pressure? No.
No. This is just gonna look like space.
Daryl, you need some colored crayons?
Huh? What?
Okay.
No.
Like a face.
That one,
Yeah. This one?
I think.
Okay, this seagrass.
I like that one
Mm.
a lot. Yeah.
It'll be a maverick just 'cause.
There's always one in the crowd.
I gotta be it, so.
We're used to it.
Get out there, big guy.
What you gonna do with the rest of your time now that you turn it
Yeah, I'm
on?
gonna.
So how do we know what they voted on?
And she's got it in the chat,
Okay.
yeah, and then Pat joined.
Have you thought about adding that to the back, like that, something like maybe just across the
All
top,
right.
do the
He's
scallop?
already got 100,000.
We can discuss that with them.
The
Really don't mean
the
that.
two tails bother me. That's the only thing that, on that one that,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But it makes it symmetric.
So the two tails were meant to
Well, I'll help
represent
you on
the two
these.
bays.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
I see that.
So then, yeah, put the scallop on that puppy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At first I didn't understand the two
Uh-huh.
tails. If
That-
they,
You know what that means?
Doug,
Sure.
I helped
but I
you
think
again.
one tail with the scallops behind
He's
it
really-
and the seagrass.
Disappointed.
But I do like that one too, the 5A.
Uh-huh.
Phone calls about both.
So are we opposite from what y'all like?
100%.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
We're 100% opposite from you all?
100%.
That's funny.
Wow.
Actually, we all liked the scallop ones. I think we actually, all of us like 1B better.
I think this one
I-
is very, very clear. It just,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't leave me
same.
confused back there. I don't really know what this is.
So the swoosh is what's in our current logo.
Mhm.
We're trying to, I asked them
Tie
to
it
try
together.
to keep it together, you know.
Oh, is that,
Or
I
it-
thought that was water.
What'd you,
It is, yeah.
what'd you call it?
Swoosh.
A
Swoosh.
Nike
Nike swoosh, yeah.
But the 4A and 4B, I thought was gonna be y'all's pick because the scallop was like a sunset. And so a lot of y'all's logos have sunset stuff or, you know, whatnot, and we're known for sunset. So I thought for sure that would be your choice.
I like
I was
it.
wrong.
I did not
I
see
like
sunset in
simplicity.
That one's got the sunset and the sailboat.
And sailboat.
It does.
That one kinda does look like the sun and then the, yeah.
And then number 6 looks a lot like the, what is it, Nature Coast logo, and it's the license plate that has the redfish tail, so we were a little bit concerned about how close it was to that.
Mhm.
I
do
like
like that one.
5A as well, but I
Mhm.
felt like it might be too much with the grass, but,
That's what grabbed my attention.
uh-huh.
You can put a little color
With
in
the
there.
grass.
Yeah, if you had some color in it,
Mhm.
so I could see it, with the seagrass, with the grass.
Mhm.
What did the folks on that?
I mean, I just tallied, I combined
Oh, okay.
everything, so we have several that are tied. So there's 4, 1A, 1B, 5A, and 6. All have 4.
Okay. I'll have to put this up for the rest of the folks on that special meeting to get some additional votes on it.
Mhm. They kinda went the same way, right, online?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the two tails, 'cause, the designer was like, oh, just thinking of St. Andrew, St. Joseph
That's
Bay,
cool when you
know.
explain it.
Yeah, but, you know, your logos, I thought for sure you guys were gonna choose 4A or 4B. I even said, I'm like, I was betting money that that's gonna be what they do.
Good thing
I
you
was
didn't.
wrong.
How much money you got?
Yeah, you're fair.
All right, well, so we'll have to get some additional votes from those folks, and then we'll take the top 3 versions and work with the, Kerrigan folks to refine things and put color to it and all that. And they have like a logo presentation that puts it on different,
Like
window
t-shirts
frame,
or
t-shirt, that
bags.
sort of thing, 'cause it does add a little dimension to it,
Mhm.
but.
They're good, if they only had
A week.
a week. I mean, that's
It was a week, yeah,
impressed.
yeah. Did a great job.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and then, I don't know if y'all paid attention to font as well, image, but, font is the other side of it. I tend to go with the 1B3, number 3 ones. And I also didn't like how St. Andrew and St. Joseph was separated from the bays. I feel like one line should be St. Andrew, St. Joseph bays, and then extra program underneath, but, my opinion.
I agree with that.
Could we abbreviate, just put S-A and S?
You could, yeah.
I'm just throwing stuff out.
I know. It's a
That is
really
huge.
long
It is.
name, and that's why we wanted it to stand alone, because that
Need
name.
to always keep in mind new eyes seeing something, they may not know what that
They wouldn't know what that
to
meant.
make that assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of us who have been here for a while, but
that's what I was gonna say.
I mean, our, like, social media handles and our abbreviation, it's SASJBEP.
Yeah.
I always forget the abbreviation, I just say it all.
Yeah, yeah.
I like 3, it stands out, but I like your idea that the bays go on the top line. I don't know if they
Yeah.
can do that though, how it would look.
Yeah, they'll give us another version to look at with that arrangement.
Because right now it's kind of symmetrical with the.
Right, and that's why,
Object.
yes, they were
Yeah.
trying to keep it symmetrical.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got some forward movement. The other thing is a website, so one of the deliverables for our grant is to have the CCMP electronically hosted, which is important.
Mhm.
With the limitations that we've been having with FSU's website, just because we can't manage it, it's in a different language that I, don't know, and I don't think I want to. We did move to, an individual website, and so we get to choose our domain name. So I put 4 versions on page number 4, which are just SASJBEP, which is our social media handles. Or there's a couple other versions of just put FSUPC on it, or EP, or whatnot. Staff kind of stuck with number 1 of just SASJBEP.
I like that too.
Mhm.
We'll get that, and then, the order of priority that I gave was logo, then CCMP, then website, so that'll be, a follow-up discussion with them about what we want. It'll have a lot of the same features that our current website has, but we will be able to manage it, and so it'll be a lot more responsive, and Elisa has that skill set already, so we'll be ground running, hopefully. All right. Questions, comments?
Amazing job.
Mhm.
The CCMP was just blew me away. It looks incredible.
It does.
And to factor in the work that y'all have done, standing up a program, getting that done, bringing in all the grants, is just
Yep.
extremely amazing work.
Thanks.
I was blown away. It almost made me cry.
Seriously, I had to stand up a program, the transit program and grants, and it took a long time. I was very impressed with how fast you did this and how well. You and your team.
Yes,
Yes.
team effort,
Yeah.
100%. We have been very fortunate with getting some additional grants in, and, you know, it's hopefully continues. But having that operational funds that was able to allow us to kind of be, opportunistic in opportunities as well was key to all of that. If we
Mhm.
had restrictions on our activities, it would have not been able to happen. We'll get into further with the allocation side of things, so.
Some grants do that though.
Yeah, so grants really, like, restrict what you can work on depending on the type of grant, but generally, if you're riding to the opportunity, which you need to do in order to get it, you're restricting your activities a lot. So I did just put in kind of just an overview. I wanted to give you an update on all of our grants. I do this each time, which may be a little redundant, but we had some activities with this last, couple months. So our establishment grants, which are the number, if you look at the number column, is the one I'll be referencing. So this column here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is on the first page. Number 1 and 2 are establishment grants. I requested an extension on the Bay County Restore Direct Component. We have some opportunities there to get a sediment analysis completed in St. Joe Bay, which had been previously done in St. Andrew Bay, so we'll have both bays with a contamination sediment analysis. And then that will help to direct some of the CCMP direction. So that grant technically expires tomorrow. I do not have that extension in hand, but the county does have it. So I need someone to sign it and get it to FSU and get it executed ASAP. I already put a stop payment on everything in the event that it does expire before we get the agreement extended. So right now, I had to move all of staff salary off of that grant. Luckily, I have another grant I can do that with, but, so right now, our staff salary is all off of the Nature Conservancy Establishment Grant. That grant was written very uniquely, and it actually ends in April, not June, as was previously believed. So that puts a little pressure on not just our activities, but getting all of the deliverables, the logo, the CCMP, and the website finished by April. I've requested an extension. The county is fine with it, and the Nature Conservancy is fine with it, but the Nature Conservancy wants an invoice by the end of June, which is basically impossible with FSU's process and the county's process. So right now, we're in a very, wonderful situation of having to stop payment on one grant and then the other grant ending earlier than expected. Wouldn't be a problem, because I have more funding coming in, except that on the next page, numbers 7, 8, and 9 have not been approved and submitted to Treasury by the county. And Jim left, he's resigned and is officially gone now, you know. And now the county is trying to catch up on everything he was managing. And so when I asked if they had a timeline on when these would get submitted, the answer was no. So I have some fluff, but I don't have a lot. And so, if those grants for some reason don't get funded, don't get submitted, we don't have staff funds. So this is the problem of being grant funded, basically. So we have about $2.5 million of grants secured that are not in the bank. And haven't been. I mean, some of the grants we've been waiting on for over a year and a half. So that's where I'll lead into what we're trying to do, which is get contributions in from members so that we have bridge funds like this.
Right.
And continuity of operations. I put my face into him, it will all work out, but it is not comfortable.
But there's nothing that we can do to push them along, that's totally out of our purview.
I'm working on it.
Are those reimbursement grants?
Mhm.
Yeah, and they go through the county and then the
Mhm.
clerk's office, right?
No, the treasury. So they're treasury funds, so I don't know who handles the payments.
I'm talking about Bay County, they usually go to
Okay.
the clerk's office at the
Okay.
end to be paid. Cause I was completely grant funded, so
Okay.
it's federal grants, and they would go through the county process, and then they would go through the clerk of court finance, that's their finance arm.
Okay,
The board's finance,
okay.
so they may go
That would
through there.
make sense.
Yeah,
And then the invoices get submitted to treasury for restore.
gotcha.
Treasury is,
Did we by any chance go for any legislative appropriation?
Yes. We were in last year's, it's a big project with, University of West Florida and SAS, which is a for-profit company, to do water quality stuff. We got that last year. We were allocated $100,000. Last year, I don't have money. Still waiting on it.
Okay.
We are also in this year's legislative request for the same project, looking at 150, hopefully more. And, again, that's no promise, but it's looking promising. So that will help. When we were written into last year's, the messaging and the timeline was not accurately portrayed, and so I put most of that money to doing a benthic assessment in St. Joe and not to staff. So I've redone a little bit of that and put a little bit more to staff so that I can carry over, and I've been pushing them to get us that money ASAP, so hopefully that will be fine.
But you need another source coming in to help bridge the gaps and have some in the bank and.
I need assurances that those 3 grants are going to come.
Mhm.
Because I can bridge it with, like, FP&L gave us some funds.
Okay.
And really, like, there's some staff that are on other projects that are fine,
Mhm.
and then there's other staff that are not. And so, I
So maybe
have,
bottom line, we need to get Bill and Doug.
and UWF, because the state funds are coming through UWF.
Oh, okay.
yeah, UWF is different, he's
Right,
talking
I'm talking
about
about
3
these grants,
projects.
these 3 grants here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yep.
And it's, a lot of it is transition, you know, Jim left February 18th, and so,
Takes a while.
right, like, we have the stuff in the portal ready to go, but they are just uncomfortable just submitting it without knowing what it is, and I understand that side of it.
Just push the button, come on.
Yeah, I've offered to meet, to give a verbal, like, get you up to going, and again, I have some fluff, but my concern right now is that the projects will get pulled.
Yeah,
They don't like
mine
them.
too.
Yeah. Because now someone else is in charge of them, and
Who has that position now? Where Jim's?
so they moved it over into the Public Works Division.
Okay, so Keith is in charge.
Keith?
Bryant.
Yeah, oh, I know Keith well.
Mhm, I do too,
Yeah,
so,
good guy,
yeah.
great guy.
Yes, so, that's the update on those. I don't want to dwell on it any more than I already do. Oh, look, I have animations. This project, number 3, is going like hotcakes. Liz is actually, and Ryan are going out tomorrow to start sampling for quarterly sampling on time. Postdoc is being processed, I guess is all I can say at this point in time, but it's going great.
So you did identify someone,
Mhm.
okay, finally.
Mhm.
That was a challenge for a while.
Yeah.
You had to wait for you to finalize my degree.
Oh.
We actually had 3 amazing candidates that I would have offered the job to either one, any of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
but we ended up having, you know, our cream of the crop pick,
That's
but,
awesome.
yeah, it was.
What are these samples taken from shoreline?
So the living shorelines where they have installed these breakwater reefs, they're taking multiple different types of sampling, so they're seining, they have minnow traps, and then like chute density, seagrass. It's gonna be done in our bay, in Choctaw Bay, and then Pensacola Bay. And so Liz, our research assistant, is the one who's making sure it's all standard across all of the bays, so then we can answer the questions we promised to answer.
Okay.
Yeah. This is, number 4 is the one that we applied for that back in 2022. I don't know. I just request another update. It is what it is. Pilot project's going for the seagrass. We're hoping when spring comes along, our seagrass look better than they do. We're hoping they're just finessing right now. But we will be ramping up. We really need to get the greenhouse on property and something.
So what's the latest? Is that something I need to nudge? That's a Tallahassee thing that we're waiting for, right?
I think we need like a bulldozer in Tallahassee, not just a nudge. Dan, the last time I
know
asked Dan
Dan will
about it.
push it, but rich management is just so.
And we even asked about just putting the bins outside and not even having a structure, and that was the last thing. And the last time I asked Dan an unrelated question, the first thing he said to me was, "I don't know anything about the hothouse."
What if we put it at the Lynn Haven property versus over
We
here?
need power. That was the other thing, is since we need power, we talked about looking into solar panels to be able to power it, and then it could go in the back area, and then it wouldn't be as much of a
big
issue,
deal,
yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're kind
Check
of,
with the conservation park.
no, it needs a lot of oversight, so like, you've gotta do a lot of checking on it consistently, so we need, if we have it there, we would need someone on staff to be, like, daily, yeah. 'Cause right now Liz is doing it pretty much,
We're fixing to get another,
yeah.
I
Mhm.
can't remember.
For something else there. As I think. The design for the Springfield restoration, that just went back to FSU. So NIFWIS accepted all but one change. FSU is making sure they can accept that rejection, and then things will be signed, and then we will be able to work on, yeah, it's moving along.
Told you.
Haven't forgotten. These are the 3 projects, 7, 8, and 9 that I mentioned, before. Tyndall stakeholder, well, that's a biannual meeting, and that just happened in January, went well. It's really been great getting to know all the stakeholders' actions that are going on in and around Tyndall, and there's folks that have been working in this area for, 5 or plus years that just learned about new things happening, so it's a great thing for us to have the opportunity to coordinate. State of the watershed report, that is active. Ryan is working with the Science and Technical Committee to, meet the deliverables, and then, we have the, application out, or the, request for applications out, and just closed, I think, last week. And we were at a conference, so. All right, next one. This is the one that I've mentioned with UWF, it's a legislative request, waiting for money. Thank you FP&L for making my stress less. And then, under review, we put in for a $10.6 million project with NOAA. We're hoping to hear back in March. If we get that, those 3 projects can go away, and it would be fine. We have the funding in that $10 million grant for it,
That's
so.
a big hit.
Yes, wow.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, prayers go up, that we get it. We did get awarded one of the 3 that we put in the fall, which was strategically reforesting Bay County through assessing stormwater. Sad Bill's not here to hear this one. I think he'll be so happy. But this will be sort of like a preliminary, outfall assessment of all the municipalities, and then looking at land cover, to understand stormwater potential, and then recommending public places to reforest. It's not all that much money, but it will allow us to work with one of the engineering students, and will fund a portion of the staff scientist position with the State of the Watershed report. So, we were like, we wrote this one off, we didn't think about it, and then all of a sudden there was this
Wow.
letter that SSU contracting was like, is this yours? I'm like, what? And then this last one, we were invited for a full proposal that we're working on right now. We were asked to indicate scalability, so they have a lot of interest, and they wanna know, basically, can we fund you at a lower amount than a higher amount, and can you still deliver on the product? So we're working on all of that. But all those together, we've applied for over $25 million in grants, and we've secured 5.6. And
Not bad.
I've started.
Impressive, yeah, especially since you're doing that and other things. Most of the
Right.
time you have a grant person that,
Yeah.
mhm.
So, we're getting pretty, I mean, there's 3 other grants. There's one other that I actually proposed for $1.6 million to do workforce development, but we would be a sub-awardee to EPA.
Mhm.
And then there's another EPA one that we're gonna propose for to do native plants. That's what I was thinking about, doing a nursery out on that new property to increase
Which would be
native plants.
good, 'cause if they could tie in, that's where you're putting reeds, right?
Mhm.
So they could use that for irrigation.
Mhm.
Did you add that into the proposal?
I haven't written it yet.
You ought to add that. And it would add a unique piece to that you're actually using
Yeah.
reuse water.
I'm working on my, ability to say no to things, and I'm failing because I offered to be the lead of this project, which is actually covering all the way to Texas. So it would be
Ooh.
us, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Ryan is my support. My support is like, her eyes when I tell her about it and they go really wide, I'm like, yeah, I should have said no.
It'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be great if it happens, but it would also be workforce development as well, and so, it would be great. And then the other ones that are open right now are NIFLIS ones that I have ideas for. So, find the time. Questions?
A lot of work.
Mhm.
So that brings me to the allocation side of things. That's fun.
I've done this before, for transportation.
So with grants, as I talked about, there are delays that are more, I mean, I've been working off of soft money for over a decade now, and I've never seen delays like I see now. And so it seems to be a new thing, or maybe it's just different sources, but I've done NIFLIS and DEP grants, but there's contracting issues of having people in the positions, and so that is something that I did not anticipate, of having to wait over a year and a half for even just $200,000 to come our way. There's also a lot of project uncertainty, like I mentioned with the Bay County projects. You get contract specialist turnover, and there's uncertainty, so you don't know, and then, you have to have a level of confidence just for myself, but then also staff, that you don't lose staff over this, so you're not going anywhere. I already have it figured out. And then all of our activities have to be funded by grants. So we have a lot of requests that come in that have nothing to do with our grants. Now, we could write for a grant, but then at takes time. You have to wait a year to hear, and then you have to wait another year to get the money, and so you kind of lose a lot of partners and interests. And so some of the things that we get requested for is the stormwater work group. Really, we're talking about, education on stormwater, illicit discharges, and then having trainings for contractors that are out there, making sure the sediment isn't going into the storm drains, because they don't, it's just the awareness isn't there. And so the last stormwater, meeting we had, they were like, if you guys could do that, that would be huge. And so Daryl put me in touch with someone that has done it in the past, but again, there has to be funds for it, and time. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do these things, it's the time that we have to spend to do it that's not funded.
Do we work with DEP on stormwater?
That's who, it's Hal Lunsford, he used to be DEP stormwater trainer that went around and did all the trainings. He's retired, but still is doing that work.
Yeah,
Michelle Bull, who was RMS4 representative,
okay.
and she's, real good on it.
And I know US has put on trainings and stuff too, and, you know, like I said, it's not hard to get it executed, but it's still the coordination to be able to do it and do it well and get the right people in the door for it. It just takes time. Classroom visits, there are teachers that are asking us to help, not just develop, like, come in the classroom one day, but I just got a request from Arnold to develop, a new CTE program, on natural resources, so.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing, we wanna be a part of it, again, time. Living shoreline technical assistance, people call us all the time asking about living shorelines. I usually put them to Baywatch or ISIS, but that's something that our entire area doesn't have a lot of capacity to do, which is one of the workforce development proposals.
So should we, you talk about Arnold calling, so
They got the money and the agreement from Bay District Schools.
Right.
Yeah, so they've been working for years to get approval to be able to offer it, and now they're trying to figure out, like, what the curriculum is in the lessons.
Right.
Yeah. So they just wanted to kind of brainstorm with us about it, and
For who?
Arnold High School.
Could they leverage the contractor training that FWC created? So FWC created a school, a 2-day living shoreline school for marine contractors. I'm wondering if that could be adapted.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know enough about, she gave me the, like, lesson topics, but
Okay.
it's a year-long program that they take. Yeah.
Can you send me that, and I'll reach out to the lady that created it and just see what she thinks? Okay.
The other thing that, you know, Baywatch does water quality all the time. Ryan has been able to take the data, create a report card, and then we really wanna create an online dashboard. Again, not hard, well, it's not hard for her, but it's time, and so that's where I get to with this, allocation methodology. So we talked about this a lot, and I'm trying to show that it's not just you funding staff salary for staff salary, it is all of the projects that would go along with our ability to do it. And so I took a tiered approach based on population. And I put FSUPC in there. And then, corporations, small, and I put, you know, a greater than amount because I have not had those conversations with the corporations, so. But with the tiered approach, this is what you're looking at in your board book on page 10. And the pie chart is to basically show you all, I'm not asking you to fund the entire program. You fund almost like less than half of it, that would allow us to be able to get additional grants, but then have the time to be programmatic. And so we've talked a lot about y'all funding the entire program, and I didn't basically. I didn't think it was right or fair at this point in time to ask that, so this is where we're at with asking for 40% of our operational funds. And then I have the tiers kind of broken down,
So every dollar you get, what does it, this is what it,
this is where we're at currently, well,
mhm.
yeah, so for every dollar that we've gotten, we've leveraged $5.5 currently
Okay,
in 2.5
that's
years.
good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which I'll throw out for comparison, the Tampa Bay National Estuary Program. Years ago, when we were making the baby that turned into these estuary programs, they came up and did a presentation, and for every dollar Pinellas County put in, their return was $10. They're a national estuary program, so they're getting $500,000 from EPA every year.
Right.
So for this to be already half of that,
Mhm.
pretty amazing.
Mhm.
Then if she gets when she gets the $10 million, that would like go up
Yeah.
to over 10, right?
Yeah. Thoughts, reactions? You can be honest.
I think we need to pound on the TDC.
There he is.
I've been at it for an hour. How old is
Hey, Commissioner.
All right, that's the end of the meeting.
Yeah. We're done. Bay County School paid for it all. You missed my whole narrative.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay.
I'm sorry, I tried to divide myself, I'm in two places at one time.
Oh, I feel you, yeah. So just to catch you up, first, we got a grant to do an outfall assessment for stormwater. I thought you'd be very happy about it, yep. Second, so we're talking about grants. I went through all of our grants, and there's a lot of delays, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of issues that we can talk about after, the meeting. And then going into the allocation, we've talked a lot about it, but what I was trying to kind of have this narrative about, and my slides are super delayed, is that, yes, it's staff, but it's not staff. It's all about what we would be able to do with the time we would have that wouldn't have to be grant funded. And so one of the things we've been asked to do is stormwater management trainings, and there's a lot of resources out there that we could coordinate, very easily get something going, but it takes time to do it and coordinate it. And so if we are grant funded, we cannot spend time on those activities. And so that's where, these are the requests that we get a lot. Classroom visits, we talked about. Arnold requested some support for doing a new CTE program. The synthesis of the water quality data that the county is paying Baywatch to take and making that usable. So those are all things that are completely attainable and projects, but it requires time. It doesn't require really more resources other than time. Then we moved into the allocations, and this is, I tiered everything for the allocations, and then I talked about how the pie chart really shows, I'm not asking members of the estuary program to pay for the entire program. I'm asking for less than half at this point, and so 40% of the funds, and then on the side there, is the proposed allocations for each municipality.
How are you gonna collect this?
So with, SSU, we finally got, approval to start a project, basically, that will be able to invoice members and then be able to take the money in. And so it's not gonna be an auxiliary account, it's basically gonna be like a separate that little grant, which is why you have
That's almost
services.
impossible to do.
Yeah. Don't get me started. There's services agreements that we'll move into, that we'll need to be able to give to FSU to start it up, but you guys have to make sure you're okay with it, and then what we would give to your municipality to be able to vote and sign.
Okay, that's what I was wondering is, how we gonna, invoice.
Yes, yes, we finally have a means.
We have to find out when they all start their budgeting cycles,
Yeah.
so.
Well, and that's kind of the next steps of, you know, if this looks like something attainable from your municipality, then I need to know next steps of the process. Do I just present it to the commission, I can make a return on investment type thing like this? Or is there a different process that we need to be taking?
It's like our city, we start staff-wise in April. It's just gotta be approved by 31 August, no, September, for 1 October budget.
Okay.
And we present our request and everything to the commission in, August.
Okay.
Not surprised about, yeah.
And I think everybody pretty well, municipality-wise, goes with that time frame.
Okay.
I know the county is on a
We'll start our
different.
process, in the next month,
Mhm.
you know, with. That slide, is that in our packet here?
That slide is not, but I have it summarized by municipality on page 10 in your packet.
Page 10?
Yeah. This just gave you a little more detail of where each municipality fell as far as population.
Gotcha.
And I had mentioned with, you know, the TDCs and corporations, small businesses, I haven't had conversations with them. You know, SPNL or Nextera gave us $10,000, so that's where I put a starting point for that.
Yeah, we need to sit down and.
Yeah.
We need to,
Yeah.
quick,
Yeah.
so.
I think Daryl, you reached out to Dan recently to talk to him.
Yeah, I'll sit down with them next Thursday.
And,
Yes, sir. So I could back off if.
no. Actually, I was talking to him when I was walking in.
Oh.
He's a, but anyway, I'll mention it and talk to him.
Okay.
Go ahead and have that meeting. and-
Okay.
I mean, with tourism, and keep the
Right.
water pretty is,
Mhm. It's very easy, yeah.
Well, and that's just it, so you think about like the grant that is kicking off for Springfield, that's gonna restore those two feeder, you know, you go from
Right.
Lake Martin comes in, there's two main tributaries, best way to say it. And so it's in the middle of Springfield, and so the NIPWIF grant is doing 60% drawings to do the restoration of that. And then we've gotten word from DEP, when they saw that NIPWIF had approved that this looked like a good project now for their next round of Deepwater Horizon, which is set to be the end of next year time. So projects are starting to roll. And by doing that, you're gonna have much better water quality getting down in Lake Martin, plus just the beautification that's gonna do in Springfield.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's all, you know, every bit of what this program is doing is gonna help tourism in one way or the other, either improving habitat, water quality, you know, education. So, and the other beautiful thing is, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the legislature broadened what TDCs can invest in, and so it's perfectly within their bailiwick to
Right.
be able to do that.
Good.
You're gonna talk to Panama City's TDC too? Jennifer?
Jennifer, did you?
I know her really well.
Gulf County one.
You said you're gonna talk to her?
I know her really well, I've been friends with her for a long time, so, I mean, I can help, yeah. I don't
That'd be
mind.
great if you can, yeah, I don't know her that well.
I know her quite well as well. It's something I can do.
We talked to the Gulf County TDC, Sylvia.
So,
I think Panama City would be interested in that conversation because of the, way they touch the water and all, so.
Well, she did reach out to me about the Beach Drive project and then their living seawall project. You know, we don't really like support or not support things, but, you know, I talked to her about what I've heard, recommendations. I think recreation is important, you know, but I was like, we're not gonna stop you or what anything.
What's the young lady's name in Mexico Beach?
Oh, I don't know the Mexico Beach one. Yeah.
I knew years ago the one, but it's changed.
Yeah, she just came to the GDC meeting, because we just allocated fees for beach restoration. Yeah. Over there.
Okay.
Oh, I can't think of her.
With, Red, the old health and skill funds.
Who's that?
Red.
I know the city manager
Plan was in it.
there,
Oh.
one that, Chris,
It's.
yeah, I've known him for years, Quarterman. I know, yeah.
City manager or the mayor?
I know the city manager. No. I gotta forget there's people on the.
He sent me an email, solicited saying, oh.
Okay, so no, like, hey, you're out of line with any of these, or,
Yeah, I think he-
like, okay,
Oh, you mean as far as
the amount?
the amount?
You did it by population.
Yeah, I'm looking on here, 50,000, right in the middle of what you have there. And, I mean, all I can say is this is a board decision, it's not
Sure.
mine up or down, it's
Sure.
something that would go to the board and see what they say. And I
Does
think
it-
that's for,
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone,
yeah.
right,
Mhm.
right.
yeah.
Her name Kimberly Schoaf,
Oh,
S-H-O-A-F,
that might be,
Kimberly, S-H-O-A-F.
so next steps for you guys would be then to get in front of your commission to request that amount of money, or just to talk about the estuary program?
For us, we have a system set up for
Okay.
any outside agencies, and this would be considered an outside agency, requesting money for next year's budget.
Okay,
And so what you would need to do is get with, either Bob or, Miranda, and they can get you the form. Form has to be filled out to start the process of requesting money.
okay,
Then you have to go before the board. They have like one day, right?
Well, yeah, once that starts, I mean, then it comes to the board.
Mhm.
At the end of the budget process, we have all of the outside agencies come, and, of course, we look at them way ahead of time.
sure,
But, it's all in the process, but the very beginning, first step is fill out the paperwork and then get it in the slot. You don't wanna miss your slot.
okay.
I can certainly bring this up, but all it'll be is, we have a funding request coming,
Yeah,
and that's,
so would it be helpful though for me to do like a presentation at each of your commissions just about the estuary program? I mean, especially with Bay County, since y'all have funded the establishment.
for Bay County?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, by all means,
So, yeah, that would be something that, I would be very happy with that, but you'd have to get with our chairman, he makes a decision on what comes up for presentations and what does
Sure.
not.
Okay,
So get with Chairman Ham and let him know you would like to get on his schedule to make a presentation,
okay,
and he can do that.
It's probably all of them.
yeah.
I mean, I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah, I've done
Oh, yeah.
you guys,
Okay.
Lynn Haven, I haven't
Okay.
done Springfield, I'm on Tan the Cities in April.
Good.
Trying to make my way.
Yes,
But I
That's a
haven't,
lot.
I've been waiting for the CCMP to be ready, to be able to be like, here's a printed copy of what you paid for.
Yeah.
And then just kinda give, you know,
I think all of our commissioners, I brief them, update them, but it'd be good for you to come in and say,
yeah,
this is what paid for that project that we've been talking
right,
about for the
right, yeah,
last several months.
okay,
Short and sweet and to the point.
yeah. I can talk really fast.
Yeah, we'd like to be out in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Sound like a county meeting.
That's why he's never asked me to.
That's what I've learned over the years, short and sweet and to the point.
Gotta go eat.
Man, I'm just warming up after 20 minutes.
Yeah. So with this, I appreciate all of that, and I will get working on all of that, process. Another thing that we have requested Kerrigan to do to help bring this to the finish line, we've talked about this corporate sponsorship tiers, and they're gonna work on creating this and hosting this on the website that they'll be designing for us. So it will get to the finish line, 'cause I was like, I've taken it as far as my biology knows how to take it, and so, they have experience doing this for a lot of different things, and they'll take it to the next level, which hopefully will help be able to bring in some of the additional funds needed. So, the services agreement is something that I need to give to FSU as the first step, to be able to set up that account. I gave two options on pages, one option is 11 and 12, and then the next option is on page 13. I did one with a bunch of whereases, because I looked at the TPOs, I was like, that sounds
Resolution?
good.
Yeah, I mean, all the resolutions and local governments do the whereas.
Well, then, having where the Bay County formed us, pledged 10%, I was like, oh, that seems like it's good to put as whereases, but, I don't know. I don't know anything about making these, so, then I did option 2 without the whereases and just the background information, so.
Have you met Natasha?
I have not met her in person, I have spoken with her,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, she's our new coordinator.
Yeah, she's out of the office until the 6th,
Okay.
yeah, I got that auto response.
You could do the agreement without the whereases, and then they'll want the resolution with it to have the whereases. So you have to have a resolution, usually with an agreement,
Okay,
but each
got it,
government's different.
okay.
But that's what they adopt, is the resolution, and it points
Goes with
to
it.
the, yeah.
So option 2 is just the agreement without the whereases.
And then you'll have a resolution
Okay.
with it.
So, the request to me from FSU was to kind of put, like, what we would be providing, basically, to you all. So I kind of put, major responsibilities of scientific technical assistance, information as requested, identifying projects, so that's, really working with staff to actually figure out, what are your projects? We're doing this with over 25 projects through the SUNS proposal, where, your staff identified necessary projects, and those have been further developed. So things like that, which time to understand what each municipality is trying to do and needs, and applicable grants, grant applications, work with, different, the one project with the litter traps that covers almost every municipality. Panama City Beach is working with us on that. Parker, maybe Lynn Haven, Panama City, Springfield didn't want any. But that's one way that we touch multiple municipalities, where we would be providing a stormwater kind of pilot project to see if it works. And then that information is released to additional folks and hopefully get more interest. Or I've written actual grant proposals that I then hand over to a municipality and they submit on their own. Or I just help with the language to kind of review it and be like, you're not touching on this, here's the wildlife side of things, you really need this to be that. And sometimes it's as simple as, Jennifer Aldridge with the city will be like, is this even worth applying this project to this grant? And I'm like, or yes. So there's different ways that, support for grants plays out. And then trainings, that's something that we've been asked for, homeowner trainings, contractor trainings, all sorts of trainings. So that's what I put in for kind of the services.
On, not really that note, but it reminded me of something else. In your return on investment, did you include the money that TNC has brought in with Walmart and?
Oh, no, just direct. This is direct, this is not ancillary.
Okay. And what I was talking about there, so that SUNS project, TNC had funding from NIF to do that. Yeah, and then they got $1 million from Walmart to take the projects that were identified under that process and make them more shovel-ready. So they basically hired an engineer to come out and kind of do like 10%, conceptual drawings, which then can be used to apply for further funds.
Hey, Steve.
So that money is coming to the close.
Yep,
And
I'm on
now,
a different call on the computer, but I'm on my phone and it's working, so let's do it.
Hey Wade, you're not muted.
For the, field trip,
Yep,
I got Moat lined up.
okay.
Around 3:00, we had probably.
Administrative approval or whatever, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so Walmart came out and visited, and they were very, very impressed with what has been done, so they're actually getting more money to do that. So you haven't included those funds in, so,
I have not. I have
Yeah.
a separate tracking of all the proposals I've submitted in different ways, and that's where the proposal number came from,
right,
but I did not track money, 'cause I don't know all of them on.
Right. Yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out. There's other activities going on that's moving these projects more towards implementation. Because, having something to be able to show, to say,
Yeah.
this is what we're trying to accomplish, it makes
Shovel
your.
ready is a big thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of, and Jess has spent a huge amount of time on those projects. So that's another, like in the services agreement, stuff that I think, I'm not sure she's been bringing that out to y'all, not faulting you, but that's a lot of background stuff that's also going
Yeah.
on.
So I think if I have to put some sort of cost in there for the services agreement for FSU, but does the option 2 look okay to be able to just get the account set up? Not saying that this is what would necessarily, we can't vote on anything right now.
It would work for us.
Okay. So then the next pages are just examples of what I created when I had actually Ryan presented for me, at the Lynn Haven Commission, 'cause I had to attend a funeral. So those are just examples. Obviously, I kind of took the front page of the Lynn Haven example and used that for the allocation one. And then one for South Carolina with my previous position, where we had a lot of projects, and so you have your dots, you have your acreage, all of that. That's where we'll get to eventually, to show kind of habitat metrics on things, but we're not there yet. We'll get there. But those are the types of things that I would plan to provide to your municipality when presenting, Okay. So moving into page 18 of your board book, I just put together, like Cheryl mentioned, there's a lot that goes on, that I don't always bore you with details. Yeah. I feel like sometimes I get close, but this just is a work plan for each quarter. You have each quarter in your board book. I won't go through every single thing, but it just gives you an idea of what each staff person is doing and which grants they're funded off of. This is sort of tracking deliverables of each grant as well as staff, timelines, so, we're nearing the end of the first quarter, believe it or not, but just a brief summary, just so you can kind of see how things are divided and conquered. And then through the quarters, you have other ones coming online and other ones closing out, so. Technically, in the bylaws, you all do approve these work plans, so another thing to vote on. Want to see it differently, let me know. If you want more narrative or project profiles of what each of these grants are. Happy to provide whatever you think you need in order to on it. There are, like, most national SRA programs, their work plan annually is over 100 pages. So they have to have a full-time staff person just to write that, I feel like. By the time you finish, you're writing it for the next year.
These are just responsibilities, right? They're not, there's no dates attached to these are just responsibilities.
These are just responsibilities. The dates are in the, like, grant outline on pages 6, 7, and 8. And that's really where you have amounts, entity, dates of start and end, and then the linkage to the CCMP of, you know, which actions are we implementing.
Okay.
This is more just what each staff person will be devoted to in the next few months. Actually helps me to make this better than I thought it was
Yeah.
going to, you know?
I think it's easy to read and, I mean, you get the gist of it, I mean.
It's really just not everyone is funded off of every single grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On here, I'm looking for Springfields, where would
Mhm.
Springfields be? I'm looking on page 7 and 8, would it be on one of those pages?
Springfield's project is on page 6, and it is like number 6, the bottom, the last project is Springfield.
You're not last, it's just have a page.
It's last on that page,
I'm
it's
not
last.
saying
I see it in there now.
Mhm.
I see it.
Yeah, they all have like, I have code names.
Yeah, but I, now that you put it out, I see the word Springfield.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Springfield.
Probably put the code name in there.
Like Becca Hardin, use those pseudonyms until you
Oh,
get it.
yeah. I forgot.
Project Stamper.
Yeah.
Everything's secretive.
Everything is secretive, just let the cat out the bag.
I went to one meeting where they had like the Suzuki
Yeah,
groundbreaking,
yeah.
but they ended up making it very private,
Mhm.
security and everything. She's like, so we had a party and y'all weren't invited, sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Ah.
That is Texas.
She's like, it was fun. Okay. Any questions on that?
the St. Joe, Company Foundation ever got involved with this
St. Joe, yes.
company?
Yes, Catherine McCloy sits on our management council and comes regularly, and, we have proposed to the foundation project, but they don't fund staff. So the seagrass greenhouse is funded by St. Joe Company,
Okay.
yeah, or St. Joe Foundation, yeah.
I don't see their name on very much, I was wondering.
Well, that is gonna be a conversation with them on if they will, as St. Joe Company, not foundation, provide funds to the SRA program. Because that's, the two separate entities, but the foundation will not fund staff. Okay. So moving into policy board leadership transition, we have Phil as our chair. We're gonna have to move our April meeting up for Phil to still be our chair. And then Phil is our vice chair. So recommendations is that, it's important to have operational continuity. And so having someone in the chair position that has been here and understands the history and where we're going. And so recommendation is for the vice chair to move into the chair position, and then we do nominations and elections at the vice chair for whenever that chair position is vacated, you know, October, I think you said was.
Yours run out when?
November, yeah, I'll
So with this proposal, you would move into chair, we would nominate and elect a new vice chair, and then when you vacate, then the new vice chair would take over, and then we would elect again.
We try to keep somebody that's in here.
Chair, yeah, yeah.
But it seems like, and I think it's great that you have the continuity, but it seems like there needs to be a blueprint. I don't know if Bill will know everything that Chester knows. There's some script or something that need to be passed on, or?
I can make a document that kind of.
Does that make sense?
It's like a transition document, yeah.
Because I admit, I've been on boards and stuff, and I half paid attention until I was in the seat. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
And then you go like, oh,
Yeah.
I just had just a little.
Sure.
Yeah, you signed up to give us 20,000 unrestricted funds.
Yeah,
I noticed.
really?
I need an answer, so that was a yes.
We talked with Dan.
Yeah, I've done that for SARP. I had
Yeah.
like a chair.
Yeah, just to make sure that there's something in writing. I think it makes it.
Yeah.
Cause who knows, I'm quite sure with Phil being the chair, like these discussions that you and him have that make sense
It's a
just for
pleasure if
you.
you get to talk to me more.
Yeah, just for the two of you to have, and so, yeah.
And so, anticipate, we know I won't be here after November.
Yeah, so we really need to plan for
And
both.
so we need to plan for whoever's gonna take my place.
Correct.
So they're not cold on the first day. Maybe they can come in and do some at least be transitional, up to speed. So when I'm out, they're up to speed, and they're not starting from scratch.
Right.
The first thing we need to do is somehow get everybody that is on the board here.
Yeah.
You're still in Panama City?
No.
Yeah. I think, and of course, I don't know who's online, who's not online, but it's important for participation from as many people as we can get.
You know,
Yeah.
like today, we don't even need a quorum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No quorum? No? Even after I got here late now? Of course, I'm meeting on Wednesdays up at Star Avenue.
We're used to you.
So, yeah, you used to be like, as quick as I get out of meeting, I head this way.
Yeah, but you provide a rationale. I think they're going a little bit deeper to persons that like, you just never hear from them.
Yeah.
You know, responsible people would say, hey, I can't make it, and then, you know, Jessica knows, but
Right.
it sounds like there's some that you're just falling off the radar screen.
Yeah,
There's two vacant, right? I saw this,
Yes, Parker, because April resigned, and then Panama City, so Mayor Brodnicki was the member before the
Yeah.
election.
And, you know, he came. He
Yeah.
will come some.
Sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then,
Rohan is not.
well, so I have spoken with Commissioner Street about it,
And
and
Josh.
so it was, you know, because the mayor had this seat before, they don't have like a dedicated, like, you know, like the county elects or appoints someone. Mexico Beach asks for volunteers for it. Panama City doesn't have that process. It's just the mayor is the default. And so they've talked about trying to, you know, spread the requirements out. I'm just not sure it's happened. And so at that point, I have both Commissioner Street and Mayor Rohan on the site. And
Neither one of them came.
and Josh does come sometimes, but he's not the appointed person, so
Gotcha.
really he can't vote.
Gotcha.
So,
I think when you go out and do your presentations, if you touch on this subject, if I got a commissioner that's gonna volunteer to be on the board, they need to be dedicated
yeah,
to the board,
right,
not just oh, that looks pretty on paper.
right.
And I think that's what we've gotten into.
Yeah.
Mayor, the voting member,
For Panama
For Panama
City,
City?
yes, right now.
and we need to reach out to him, and, he may not realize that. Or does he? He does realize it? does he?
Okay.
Okay. Like I saw him this morning at a meeting.
I saw him, he was at EDA this morning.
See you this afternoon at the next meeting or something to encourage him to be here.
I walked out with him this morning
Yeah.
at, EDA meeting, but
Yeah.
I didn't think about this. Could've noticed it. I mean, I can call him, Jessica, I talk to him quite frequently.
I think FSU's donations just went up to 30,000.
Yeah.
Use that opportunity. This would incentivize you to remember next.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's been a lot of, other pressing issues that have come up
Yeah.
since he's been elected that may have distracted him from
Sure.
understanding the requirements.
Yeah.
And my fault for not reaching out and making a meeting with him. I did talk to Mark McLean right after the election, before he left, and, it was like days before he announced it, but he advised me to wait for a little while, so
Yeah.
it's bedtime, but I agree though that, it can't be something that gets scheduled over.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing I talked to the management council, is like, we need you here, we need your perspective here. And so, we're gonna make decisions, and if you're not at the table, you don't get to have a decision or a voice, and you can't complain after.
But we need to be able to have quorum though, and so
Right.
that, when we don't have quorum, that really puts all of the
What constitutes
Six,
quorum?
so you need one more, yeah.
So-
Do you have one for the management council too?
Quorum, we don't have,
Okay.
we don't really vote.
Cause they just recommend.
Yeah,
It might be something we need to adjust later,
yeah.
is what constitutes a quorum.
Will that, and is Wednesday still a good day, I mean, of the week for these, or is there better days for the cities and counties?
For me, it's hit and miss, I got stuff all the time,
Yeah.
it's,
Me too, and we've been going Wednesdays for how long now?
Yeah.
that's. What I try to do is, because I've got a standing meeting at the jail, it's a long drive from the jail to here on Wednesday, but I can call in, I was looking for a call-in number.
Yeah.
I didn't have one on my contact, so I just drove straight as fast as I could. But I could call in right when our meeting is done.
I mean, we could push it back to 1:30 too, and just do 1:30 to 3.
I don't want you to have to
Yeah.
judge everybody for me, no. I'm not worth that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this recommendation,
I think that's a great idea. Pat, Ralph,
Yeah.
so at the special meeting, I think we'll call for nominations for vice chair,
right.
knowing that they will quickly take over the chair position, and so need to be someone who's been at the table.
And in that time, you can keep them updated, like you do the chair.
Yeah.
You bring, Pat.
That, or, another option, I'm good with anything. Another option is whoever's got longevity here, let's go ahead and make them the chair now, so that we have another transition. If that makes sense. I'm fine with remaining the vice chair or sliding out of that position, as long as we've got, stability on whoever the chair is, that give them longevity in that position, because they know they have longer time in office than I do. I'm good with any of that. What's best for this organization is what I'm good with.
Right.
I couldn't care less if I'm the chair, vice chair, or, just a regular member, or a custodian person. I'll do whatever. But, whatever's best for the organization is what.
Doesn't matter to me.
How long does Pat have?
April 2027?
Yeah, I have 3 more years.
See, that's 3 years, that's good.
Yeah, that's
Good
good.
amount of time.
2 more, hopefully, so.
I think, Pat, aren't you termed out after this?
I'm termed out, yeah, they have term limits, so. That's it for being as commissioner, so.
2027.
We're indefinite.
I'm about to get a petition going, Pat.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know if the mayor's in my sights, you know, the mayor's doing a good job, so it's his job to keep if he wants it, so.
Well, 3 years is better than what, 9 months, 19 months? But I'm just putting that out there for discussion of the board, if y'all have, whatever the pleasure of the board is.
We can't vote on it, so.
I mean, I think it's 6 and 2/3. I think the way I was trying to think of this is for, you know, let's say someone doesn't get reelected, you know, then that vacates, and so if, you know, the chair doesn't get reelected, then the vice chair automatically moves up. So I was trying to think longer term than right now.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that we can't put someone else in the chair position and then we re-elect the vice chair when you leave too, so.
Yeah,
And then we use this as our process from then on.
yeah.
I think it's
Makes
6 and
sense.
2/3.
That way we have, much more longevity, and we have continuity going forward as far as.
You don't wanna meet with me more frequently?
I will certainly step up and chair, but I was thinking,
Yeah.
you know, it's not about me, it's about this organization.
Right.
Pat, would you be willing to, serve as the chair?
I'd be willing to do whatever's good for the organization, just like Bill said. And that's what I texted, Jessica the same thing, so. I sure feel bad I didn't make it there today. Irv, I saw you at Rotary, and you usually remind me, but, I didn't. I didn't think about it. I saw.
And Pat, I was rushing out of the door to get over to Gulf Coast State.
I know.
Matter of fact,
I saw.
Patrick was rushing out, the new, chamber president. He was our representative one, Jason. They're gonna skedaddle.
I saw Ryan at that workshop a couple weeks back, and Jessica had sent out all the invitations at once for the whole year. And for some reason, it was stuck in my head that we weren't meeting till April. So it just didn't register today, and I'm really sorry, guys. I would have been there.
Oh, no worries. Hey, you know, you're lucky you didn't get all those invitations at 3:00 in the morning when I thought of sending them multiple times. Like, no, I gotta wait till 1 hour.
That's when I said my best emails too.
I've learned to set my timer on it and send them out at 8.
Yeah.
Now with Randy Hanna, anytime.
When I get emails when I'm working at 11, he's emailing me.
Oh, that's what Randy was good, so I'm okay with him, but you know, like with others, I said, nah, I better put a filter on it.
I'm glad we have the same schedule.
Chris Lightfoot got me on that. I was emailing at 2 in the morning and stuff, and you were like, yeah, you just don't do that. I'm like, okay, I'll wait. So I guess their phones go off, you know, so.
Yes.
And it's not good when they're watching the city 24/7, so you don't want to be sending out emails when they got time to sleep, so.
Mhm. I think we'll
So
have
when
to
you
do
make the-
nomination, yeah, with that special call, we'll do nomination, and then in April, we can elect,
Right.
yeah.
So Daryl Boudreaux, who were we on the phone with, the 2 days ago?
With Jacobs Engineering,
Okay. And we were more focused on the 12th Street than we were the 17th Street, so I just didn't know what.
Daryl wasn't up to speed on the intent of the phone call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had tried to, and Chris Lightfoot, I had tried to fill him in, and he's like, he was scratching his head as well. He's like, we own the land at 17th Street. We don't own the land at 12th Street. So as far as the city of Lynhaven goes, so.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know where we would sit on focus and eligibility on a project. He seems to think, and I did too, that well, if we already have the land in our pocket, we're more apt to do something with it. So, but
Yeah.
But Chris is willing to be brought up to speed on that stuff. I spoke to him yesterday after our meeting,
Okay,
so, yep.
with them. Okay, so our next meeting was supposed to be April 24th, but Phil is gonna be out already, so we moved it to April 10th at same time, 1 to 3 Central. One thing that we have been talking about is having some sort of, you know, celebration for the final CCMP who finally did it, finally is a book. We talked about it sometime in March. I'm not sure it's gonna be printed by then, so it may be kind of early April, but and probably like a lunch, quick celebration of just, we'll cater lunch and then give you all your printed fancy copies, and you're gonna be so excited. And then, you know, really just thank everyone for their time and effort in that entire thing. And we'll have the management council, we'll open it up to the entire program, not just policy board, but the entire program, citizens that have been involved with it and everything, so.
That'd be cool.
What day did you say that was?
I don't know yet. I have to
okay.
get an updated.
If that's where I leave, I would like to.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When do you leave?
Last Thursday.
I think we can do it before then, that way you can, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get an update. They're waiting on me. Kerrigan is always waiting on me. They're waiting on me to give them comments, the last comments back, so. Once that goes, and they already have quotes from printers and everything, so hopefully it'll move quick after that.
Good.
Okay. Questions, comments, any announcements from you all on projects that you want to let us know for the good of the order?
Thank y'all for the hard work.
Keep up the hard work, keep up the good work. Appreciate the team.
Absolutely.
Right, that's all I had.
All right.
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank
Don't worry,
you.
I'll talk, don't leave, we need to talk.
She didn't talk for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so these are new logos for our program that Kerrigan created in a week.
Okay.
So top 3 votes on which ones you like. Don't let other people's dots influence you.
So what dot means what?
It doesn't matter, yeah, it's
Oh,
just
it doesn't
a
matter, you
dot.
just count numbers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You gotta use yellow.
Gotta use it? So we know who won that from.
Yeah, 'cause there's no yellow up there, yeah.
Carol, it sounds like I need to write a check.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to write a check.
Yeah, and we do have some new swag up here, we got new bags, and our new sticker of go slow, don't mow. Good to see you
Good to
again.
see you again.
All right, we only wish that we had scholarship.
Yeah.
Do what?
I looked at the scholarship,
Yeah.
and it's, St. Joe would be great with that, but St. Andrews doesn't now.
Hey, good job.
Thanks,
We're going to.
It's just gonna cost you $40,000.
One day, that's all.
that's it. What's that?
Y'all have done a lot of work in a short amount of time.
Thank y'all.
Very impressive.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Slow but sure.
Well, we don't see you before, come early on April
So,
10th.
and are you gonna maybe change their policy?
We're gonna be here before that, she's got a special meeting, or is that just gonna be a call?
Josh is off.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
busy.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get everybody together first.
Here for it. I'll be here for it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
April looks like it's gonna be a good month for us, so.
Yeah?
FEMA's finally gonna release the
Nice.
EAs at legal now.
No, big three.
Once
So
they
all
get
three?
it,
There's 3 projects, right?
all 9.
So what was the, what made those change their mind, or?
We've been waiting on Choctaw Indians out of Mississippi.
That's right.
For 9 months.
Yeah. we ran into that.
And then he come up and says,
I work with all of them.
well, it really don't concern us, 'cause it don't have a hill and it's not beside a river. Why didn't you make that decision 9 months ago?